This is number 88. When the proposition to establish the great peace is made to a foreign nation, it shall be done in mutual counsel. The foreign nation is to be persuaded by reason and urged to come into the great peace. If the 5 nations fail to obtain the consent of the nation at the first council, a second council shall be held, and upon a second failure, a third council shall be held, and this third council shall end the peaceful methods of persuasion. At the third council, the war chief of the 5 nations shall address the chief of the foreign nation and request him 3 times to accept the great peace. If refusal steadfastly follows, the war chief shall let the bunch of white lake shells drop from his outstretched hand to the ground, and shall bound quickly forward and club the offending chief to death. War shall thereby be declared, and the war chief shall have his warriors at his back to meet any emergency. War must continue until the contest is won by the 5 nations. 89. When the lords of the 5 nations propose to meet in conference with a foreign nation with proposals for an acceptance of the great peace, a large band of warriors shall conceal themselves in a secure place, safe from the espionage of the foreign nations, but as near as at hand as possible. 2 warriors shall accompany the Union Lord, who carries the proposals, and the warriors shall be especially cunning. Should the Lord be attacked, these warriors shall hasten back to the army of warriors with the news of the calamity which fell through the treachery of the foreign nation. Number 90. When the 5 nations councils declares war, any lord of the confederacy may enlist with the warriors by temporarily renouncing his sacred lordship title, which he holds through the election of his women relatives. The title then reverts to them, and they may bestow it upon another temporarily until the war is over, when the lord is, if living, may resume his title and seat in the council. Number 91. A certain wampum belt of black beads shall be the emblem of the authority of the 5 war chiefs to take up the weapons of war, and with their men to resist invasion. This shall be called a war in defense of territory. Number 92. Treason or secession of a nation. If a nation or part of a nation or more than one nation within the 5 nations should endeavor to destroy the great peace by neglect or violating its laws and resolves to dissolve the confederacy, such a nation or such nations shall be deemed guilty of treason and called enemies of the confederacy of great peace. It shall then be the duty of the lords of the confederacy who remain faithful to warn the offending people. They shall be warned once, and if a second warning is necessary, they shall be driven from the territory of the confederacy by the war chiefs and his men. 93. The rights of the people of the 5 nations. Whenever a specially important matter or a great emergency is presented before the Confederate Council, and the nature of the matter affects the entire body of the 5 nations, threatening their utter ruin, then the lords of the Confederacy must submit the matter to the decision of their people, and the decision of their people shall affect the decision of the Confederate Council. This decision shall be a confirmation of the voice of the people. 94. The men of every clan of the 5 nations shall have a council fire ever burning in readiness for a council of the clan. When it seems necessary for a council to be held to discuss the welfare of the clans, then the men may gather about the fire. This council shall have the same rights as the council of the women. 95. The women of every clan of the 5 nations shall have a council fire ever burning in readiness for council of the clan. When, in their opinion, it seems necessary for the interest of the people, they shall hold a council, and their decisions and recommendations shall be introduced by the council of the lords, by the war chief, for its consideration. 96. All the clan council fires of a nation or of the 5 nations may unite in a general council for discussing the interest of the people. The people shall have the right to make appointments and to delegate their power to others of their number. When their council shall have come to a conclusion on any matter, their decision shall be reported to the council of the nation or to the confederate council, as the case may require, by the war chief or war chiefs. 97. Before the real people united their nations, each nation had its council fires before the great peace councils were held. The 5 council fires shall continue to burn as before, and they are not quenched. The lords of each nation in the future shall settle their nation affairs at the council fires, governed always by the laws and rules of the council of the confederacy and by the great peace.